the same behaviors, right? So I have to kind of hold myself back to say, okay, let's just move along and listen. But I'll tell you what seems to happen for me is it's, oh, dark 30, minutes away from bedtime. And then one of them wants to just go on and on about anything in school and that. And, I'm listening, but then I'm just like, okay, after a few minutes goes by,
Yeah.
but I
Right.
fight it,
Right.
but I fight it because you're 100% right. And I did have a father that he told me at my baby shower for my first daughter, he said, they just want your attention. They want to be listened to. You got to be that person in the world that is always there to listen to them. And he was 100% right. And that was the kind of parent he was for me. So he was a great model, but great advice. You're
And I
so
wanted to say, when they do tell you something stressful about a friend, how you can respond to that is just basically say, oh, well, how do you feel about that? Do you think that they're doing something right? I mean, does that bother you? You know what I'm saying? And kind of get them to be the one to say, that's not a great thing, rather than you saying it to them.
That's so good. Have them do the assessment. How do you feel about that? Yes, absolutely. You are full of wisdom, Dr. June. All right, let's switch gears here a little bit. What I'd like to talk about is, we have a number of authors that listen to the broadcast and, whether self-published or whether now publish their book. And since you published your first book a few years back, can you tell our listeners, what did that change you? How did it change you? What was your experience? And just kind of share your author journey a bit.
I actually went to a retreat, actually, a publishing retreat. And so that's how I got my first book published. It was like a working vacation. So, that was great. If you want to get right off your vacation, but no, so that's actually what I did. And I met different authors and publishers and different people in the industry just to get information to learn more about it. So that was my experience with my first book. And then after that, I self-published my second book. And that was just like being able to express yourself. And the thing is this, just write, because a lot of authors, they're afraid, they say it's not going to come out right. You're not supposed to, well, I mean, you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. You just sit there and you write, and then you go back and you correct and assess what it is that you want to say and how you want to do it. So that's one thing that I think that people are so afraid of. They want to write, but they're afraid that it's not going to be perfect.
That's the great hashtag, just right. Absolutely. And, what we would add to that idea is that, even our, best-selling editors that we have on our team, and they've written like 300 books, it's crazy how many books they've written. Even they need, an editor that will relook at, will fix the content, will fix the grammar, will fix the formatting, all of that. But like you said, just get the content down. In fact, we're starting a program in that, one of the agenda items is let the content begin. And, it's like anything, right? So that's.
You have some great people in your organization, Lisa. So, definitely individuals like the ones that you have with now. I mean, I think that's beneficial to any author.
Well, thanks. Well, we sure like building the books. In fact, today we had a proofer of one of our books that's coming out. Just for 1 second here, we'll segue for a second. And she got through part 1. It's a 2-part book. And she said, I love this book. It's very easy to read. It's very inspirational. And I'm like, that's just awesome. So of course I shot it to the author because I thought, if I'm all happy about it, can you imagine what the author would feel about the positive note? But okay. Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that. I think it's great to hear from other authors. We know for sure in our company, we've seen it. And even in my journey, writing a book does change your life. There's no question. And, and like you said, you have to take that first step, like you're going to take if you're going to start run a marathon. You've got to, just like you said, just write and start getting out the content. So thank you for that. Okay, Dr. June. Well, the name of this show is called What No One Knows, and that stemmed from sitting across the table from potential clients telling us things that very few humans knew some of those things related to the story they wanted to share in a book. So we've got that question for you. So can we ask Dr. June Hall, what is it that no one knows?
Okay, I'll tell you one personal and one professional. How's that?
Sounds great.
One personal is that people don't know that I actually started out as an extra and acting on the stage. So that's a personal. And professional, what most people don't know is to simply ask. Yes, people are going to say no, but guess what? Some people are going to actually say yes. And so when I tell people that, they say, how did that happen? I say, I asked. So that's what most people don't know professionally.
That's fantastic. And I agree wholeheartedly with your professional ideal there. I know in my first company and in this company, we just say yes, and we'll worry about the details and make it happen later, right? We just say, yep, let's, and what is the worst case? Like you said, if you don't ask, nothing will happen. Zero, right? Zero. There's no chance at all that you'll succeed because you didn't even try. You didn't even ask. You didn't even go that direction.
Exactly.
Right. But then if you, do ask, if you do say yes, then,
you're on your way.
You're on your way. That's right. And what happens if you get knocked down? So you get knocked down, so you get back up.
Pick yourself up and
I love it.
Figure out what you learned and move from there.
It's fantastic. That's such a fantastic way to think about business and to run your career. I agree with that. And I'd say that I think I had no idea that you are a celebrity actress. So now I have to run around talking about that. Just kidding. All right. Well, we're almost out of time here. That went by so fast, but I'd love you to talk about your aptatious community. And, you just had your first virtual annual aptatious conference, right? About a month ago.
Yes. We had everything planned, of course, face-to-face, nice hotel scenery, the whole 9 yards, had like a little retreat going on. But you know what? We just talked about that. You do what you have to do.
And I did happen to attend, loved it, very useful, very fun, great community of women that you had in there, and even a man. I think we had one man, right?
Right.
In there. But yeah, can you tell the listeners what events you have coming up and how they can connect and join into your aptatious community?
Well, we have a community that's called the Aptatious Network. And so if you want to join, you join, and then you come to all the events that we have throughout the year. On Thursday, we're having a networking party for anybody to come that wants to promote their business and learn about how to get involved in business. And so that's one that's coming up on Thursday, October 15th. And then we have a relationship one. We're going to have a singles event for individuals who are singles. I get called about that all the time when they're going to do something for the singles. And so we're going to have a Zoom singles party. So we just have different things. Like I said, networking, learning how to build relationships, learning how to act. And so these are just different events that we have to help people have a good time in their relationships.
Thank you so much. Well, we'll definitely have in the notes how people can connect to you and find out more information. So thank you, Dr. June Hall. We appreciate it very much that you're a part of our podcast today. And thank you all for listening to What No One Knows, the podcast.
Thank you. I love it. Love you too, Lisa.
Thank you for listening to our podcast, What No One Knows. If you have a story to share, contact Now Publishing at publish@nowscpress.com. Visit our website, publishwithnow.com, for a free download from our The 90-Day Author book, and let Now Publishing build, publish, and sell your book.